boy, October 9 from the Art of Thinking Out Loud .live Common Sense Analytics. Y'all know what it is. We reacting and responding. Once again, it's my man, Mr. Let Go. He's been on this whole Diddy thing strong, like, you know, pulling up a lot of different news clips, a lot of TikTok videos, like Instagram posts, like really keeping us up to date on just how this whole Diddy thing is going. But I want y'all to check out something, and then I'm gonna give you my commentary on it. But I want y'all to hear this information.
I watched the press conference from the lawyers who say they represent over 100 alleged victims of the freak-offs. A couple of takeaways, I'll let you listen to exactly what they said. They said more than 20 of the people they represent were minors when the alleged occurrence happened. Now, they didn't say if that was 20 rapes of minors. They kind of labeled it more generally as sexual abuse. Not clear exactly what it was. They did give some descriptions. There was no mention of any specific evidence they have. There was no mention of any other specific defendants that they're identifying, like another music industry executive or something. Here it is.
Let me share with you a few, just kind of give you a sense of the kind of cases and the kind of instances that people are calling.
Okay, first thing I want to say is you just heard this man say that there were minors. I ain't even gonna go into the age bracket yet, but I'm just gonna, when he said minors, you know what we all think, teenage. But look, I'm just gonna leave it at that. But we're gonna see how deep this rabbit hole goes, and then I'm gonna tell you what I think all of this connects to. Check this out.
In reporting that we are trying to corroborate that, these are ones that we've already corroborated, vetted, and collected evidence on. One individual who was 22 years at the time she was assaulted said that the typical MO at one of these parties that
Pay attention.
discussed in the press was that when you were handed a drink, and now we know that the drink is laced with something, if you refuse to drink it, you were kicked out of the party. Now, let that sink in for a minute.
I want y'all to think about being at a party and then
Shout out to my man, Mr. Let Go, about to give his commentary on it. And then I'm going to tell you what I think.
hand you a drink and you don't drink it. And I want y'all to think about being at a party and then they hand you a drink and you don't drink it. And you get kicked out of the freaking party. I wouldn't want to be there because the first thing I want to think is, what the heck is in the drink?
And that's where I'm going with this. What's in the drink? What's in the drink, and why is it such a requirement that you must consume this drink? But it's not even the drink that that's even my focus here, because the drink is just the tip of the iceberg. I don't know whether some of y'all saw, I think it was the one little white girl rapper, I can't think of her name, Whoa Vicky, when she talked about access to Bella Thorne's party, where you had to actually give a blood sample as well as they confiscate your phone. But go back to what I just said. You had to give a blood sample to go into this party, and you had to sign NDA as well as give your phone up. I've been saying for a long time that I think that what's happening is we're seeing just everyday, what we think is like everyday party life. It's being transformed into like, okay, first off, I'll put it like this. What used to be, it used to be a thing to like party on the weekends. Party on the weekends. You know, you work throughout the week and then you party on the weekends. And You may go out Friday, you may go out Saturday, Sunday, you rest, do whatever, whatnot. It's like now we live in this weird type of like a bizarro world where it's like we just party all the time. Everything is about staying lit. Everything is about partying. Everything is about, you know, you got to be on this type of drug. You got to be doing this. You have to be here, have to be in the place to be. I need y'all to really think hard about, we think the distraction is Diddy. Diddy is just another story in the news. You have been, y'all asses have been kind of have been very distracted for a long time with this whole party culture. Cause think about it. Shit's been happening right around you. Everybody talking about, oh man, you could be talking about all this other stuff, man, but you focusing on, man, you keep making these reels about Diddy, about Diddy, about Diddy, about Diddy. It's trending, is what people want to talk about. And it holds a connection into the rest of the world if you know how to put it all together. But just going back to what I was saying with this whole party culture thing, we've, quote unquote, all of us as a society, we've been partying so much. So many world events have happened right around us. We see that shit on the timeline on Monday, and you forget about it by Wednesday. You definitely don't know about it by Thursday because 2-3 other things have happened. So I need you to take that into consideration, that it's like you've been distracted for a long ass time. Everything is about partying. Nothing is about centering you, keeping you grounded. Nothing is about quieting your mind to give you time to even think about what's going on in the world around you. But, you know, let's go back to my man talking about the drinks. And then we're going to go into this whole situation with the minors.
Why do I have to drink this in order to stay in the party? So that in itself makes me not even want to be a part of it. So the first thing I'm thinking, if that's a rule for Diddy parties, that means everybody is DUR, up.
Right.
And
everybody litty.
Nobody is remembering what they did last night.
Right.
So it's not just the girls, it's everybody. Or is it that only girls, you know what? I'm thinking only the girls are getting kicked out, because I can't imagine them kicking out a celebrity. So I'm assuming that the drink thing, the drink rule, is only for non-celebrities or either girls.
I'm thinking that too. Because, like he said, why would you kick a celebrity out because they wouldn't consume this drink? They already know what's going on. They know what the deal is when they at these type of events. It's those who are there to be consumed by the celebrities who have to make their choice on whether they want to be willing participants or if you want to get your ass kicked out. And then I'm thinking, listen, we dancing around this real nice saying that you just get kicked out if you don't consume this drink. But think about it. Your ass done already seen too much. You already seen, quote, hell, you might have already seen Jada, Will, Halle Berry, Denzel, bunch of rappers, Jay-Z, B. You might have already been in rooms and seen these people, but you just refuse to go to the next level, and you think they just gonna kick you out. All right, then. Shit, you know too much.
I don't know. Y'all hit the like button.
I mean, the admission to this party was that you had to drink the chosen drink that was handed to you And now we know that in most cases, I would say 90% of the cases, these individuals were drugged with some sort of drug.
I just wonder, is it only women or only like non-celebrities? That's what I want to know.
Right.
Another instance, this individual who was 9 years old at the time.
Y'all heard that. Y'all heard that age, right? No, y'all ain't hear that. Y'all ain't hear that.
Another instance, this individual who was 9 years old at the time
Y'all heard that right?
Yep.
This individual that was 9 years old.
9.
At the time. What is a 9-year-old being? Is that believable? Yes.
Yes.
Because we've seen Diddy around Justin Bieber.
And before he goes into what he's about to go into, when he said, is it believable to see a 9-year-old in a party with like adults? And when I say adults, we talking about people in their 20s, 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s. Yes. Y'all say, that sounds far-fetched. Okay, think about something. Hugh Hefner was putting girls on Playboy covers when they were 15. He was putting girls in Playboy spreads at like 15 years old, had girls walking around his mansion at 12, 13 years old. See, this is the stuff that they don't want to talk about. And then it's like, I have always felt like that when we talk about, okay, for instance, child celebrities, like when we see the child stars on the different shows and stuff, we're just now starting to see a lot of documentaries coming out about the different abuses that have happened, like, you know, Nickelodeon and other networks and different eras of time where, you know, you had a lot of children's shows, and, you know, a lot of these child stars are now grown and they can now tell these stories. And something I always find that runs lateral through all of these stories is the fact that no matter what age these children are, they're exposed to adult situations. You got kids in Hollywood who are now adults, and you have kids right now who are the same age as like elementary children, and they got drug habits. It's not far-fetched to see a young actor with a drug habit, because we don't know the process before these children really step onto the world stage, before you see them as this little pop star, or before you see them as like this movie star or whatnot, or on whatever television series. We don't know the process to them getting there. And the reason that, if you notice, all of these kids, I don't care who it is, look at any child star, even the ones who seem quote unquote functional right now, when they all sit down for an interview and give a real comfortable interview, you get those real dark ass stories about how casting couches, and how some of them were like exposed to adults and were taken advantage of by adults when they were in like single digits. So this 9 shit don't even surprise me, really.
We seen Diddy go take Usher out of his home with his parents and take him to Flavor Camp.
Yep.
We've seen what they did to B2K. We've seen what they did to Omarion and them.
Mm-hmm.
We've seen what happened to with JD, Jermaine Dupri, and Chris Cross.
Hold up. Now, I'm going to stop right there, just because he's about to go into something that has long been known, but hasn't been believed because this type of information has only been running through, as they call us, conspiracy theorists, or, you know, those of us who deal with information on the internet. These child actors, these child celebrities, I want y'all to pay attention to something. And they may start trying to go a little like lighter on it now, but go back and watch some of the footage of like some of these grown ass women and the way they're acting over some of these like little boys. Like when you see Pink keep trying to kiss Justin Bieber, or you see when you have an older woman like, you know, Diana Ross, how she just keeps like, you know, how she just hovers over Michael Jackson. Or the stories go back, it's a lot of different celebrities. I mean, you could go back, we could go all the way back to like the 50s and the 60s. This has been going on for a long time. This is not anything new. But I want y'all to hear what he's about to drop, because I talked about this on another podcast. But listen to this whole thing about crisscross.
And some people don't know this, but allegedly,
Alleged.
one of the members of Crisscross slept with Jada Pinkett when he was a minor. Slept with Jada Pinkett.
Say it again.
One of the members of Crisscross slept with Jada Pinkett when he was a minor. He ended up deleting himself because, you know, I guess things got so crazy. But this is what happens. What's up, Eyes 2?
Sin, I don't think we understand that. Okay, let's do this like this. I'm gonna veer off for a second, but it's really still on subject to what I'm talking about. When it comes to like, when we think about abuse, when we think of abuse and we think of adults taking advantage of like minors, we always think of dirty old men. We always think of some guy, some man, you know, some dude that's doing something to either some little girl, or if it's worse, some little boy, because we seem to have levels to this. Like, it's not all just evil. But for some reason, we exclude women from that. Just being all the way honest about it. We exclude women from that. And I don't know where somebody need to educate me on this. Where does being a cougar start, and what is the window for who you can date as a cougar and be acceptable? Because I've heard like a lot of women say like, well, you know, they look at when a older woman is messing with a younger guy as she made a come up. But when you have an older man that's messing with a younger woman, they look at that as like, you know, he's a perv. Me, I personally see it like you should date at your maturity level. I'm going to put it there. You should date at your maturity level. And if you're messing with minors, then that says something about not just your maturity level, but it says something about your spirit. I'm not even about to go into that, but I'm gonna let him go into some of these situations about, you know, some of these different child stars he know about.
I forgot the brown-skinned member of Crisscross was allegedly sleeping with Jada Pinkett when he was a kid. So all of this stuff it's the same pattern. And because, you know, even back in the day with Diana Ross and Michael Jackson.
Told you.
Diana Ross was best with Michael Jackson when he was a minor.
See?
So in my opinion, what the mode of operation is. Everybody hit the like button. Everybody hit the like button. Everybody hit the like button.
You're
The mode of operation is get in their grips right when they graduate from college or when they're young or whatever, or when they're minors, and let them blank with a grown person, especially a young boy. Let them get their hands on J-Lo. Let them get their hands on Jada Pinkett.
Speak on
get their hands on,
whoever.
Mary J. Blige.
Right.
J. Blige.
Hold on. Speaking of Mary J. Blige, because I know what he's about to say. He's probably gonna bring up that. I don't know if y'all have seen some of the interviews. If you check out my reels, I've done like I think 3 reels on this, where Danny Boy, former Death Row artist who used to sing on all the songs and stuff and everything. Danny Boy said that when he was 15 years old, Mary J. Blige took advantage of him, allegedly. I don't know. This is just, we just having conversations, you know, but this is what he said. And they claim that there were others. Matter of fact, I just posted a reel earlier today that deals with the same exact subject matter. So what I'm basically getting at is this is nothing new. And not only is it nothing new, this is something that's more commonplace in the industry than we know. This is why I keep telling y'all, like when I was having the conversations with y'all about like Hollywood, and I said, you got to stop trying to use your own common sense and your own morality standards when you're trying to understand what goes on in Hollywood. These niggas ain't dealing with the same morality standards you are because they're doing rituals. Matter of fact, this is kind of off subject, but it's just something that kind of goes with what I'm talking about, just as far as these rituals. I was watching throwback of, what's that girl name? I Love New York. The girl that was on, you know what I'm saying, Flavor Flav, that had her own show. Well, she had a show where she had all the guys on the show, you know, trying to prove their love to her. Peep this. She had a lady named Lori. You can look up this lady. This lady is some type of spiritual shaman, whatever. They brought a real spiritual shaman type of woman on the show. And even though they're doing a quote unquote comedy reality show type of thing, this is where I say they do it in plain sight because you can hide everything in plain sight because people won't even believe it. Greatest trick that the devil ever pulled is convincing the world that he doesn't exist. What she had them doing was she had them signing blood oath contracts. I'm not exaggerating. Matter of fact, I'm going to pull that particular episode up and do a reel about it. She had them signing blood oath contracts where there were these contracts written out. These dudes pricked their fingers and put blood on the contract. This is what they're really doing in what I'm trying to get through to you. This ain't just something that you're seeing on the movies or you seeing in some damn cartoons. No, this is real. They hide the truth in plain sight. In plain sight. She had them taking blood oaths in plain sight. But they call it reality TV. And they did it right in front of our faces.
There was a member of some singing group that admitted that him and Mary J. Blige had a full-blown relationship and he was a minor. So they get these young men in this world and they let them sleep with a grown celebrity.
Yep.
Mary J. Blige, you know, whoever. And then all of a sudden, what happens out of that is
Come
they're
on.
turned out.
Thank you.
And then after they're turned out, they start introducing the young boys to men.
I'm going to pause it right there because I want to say this. I was recently watching an episode of Candace Owen, and she was speaking about how porn is corrupting, well, has corrupted and is getting more corrupt in its presentation. Like, in other words, it's not like I ain't the only one. Y'all remember them damn red VCR tapes and the white VCR tapes? They was red, white, black, blue, different little colors. Booty Talk 37, so and so, this, that, and the third, everything. No, we're not just talking about that, although that was kind of like a genesis to it. It's like right now with this whole thing with the industry, like he said, you bring these young people in, especially young boys. You let them sleep with older women. It'll turn a man's mind out. It'll do a manipulation job on his ego, everything. And then if you give these young boys